Are we live?
Yes.
We're live. Hey, everybody, we're live. Woo! Welcome into the
everyone.
YouTube channel. I'm Star the Flippin Hippo. Say hello to my special guest, Sydney.
Hi.
We're just going to kind of poke around while we wait for some people to get in here. So when we get to the meat of the program, everyone has a chance to hear it. If you do miss anything, you can always watch the replay. Tim can't make it, but he'll watch the replay.
He posted it in his group, so thank you for Tim for posting that in his group.
Yeah, I did see that. He did message me. He says he's going to watch it later. He's really upset. He's missing the live. Donna's here. Thank you for loving my show. We appreciate that. Deb Smith, a show about one of her pet peeves. I have two pet peeves. Refunding buyers in full or partially without getting your item back is one of them. And tonight we're going to talk about the other one.
So do you give partial refunds or no?
Only if I 1,553 times 3,000% know that I made the mistake.
Yeah.
So if they can prove that I missed bleach stains or a ripped off button, I will give them a partial refund. I'll offer them a partial refund or the opportunity to return it for a full refund.
Yeah.
If it gets damaged in shipping and it was priority and it's insured and they can give me pictures and I know I can file a claim with the post office, I just refund them everything because I don't want a broken item back.
Right.
But when they're fishing for a partial or they threaten negative feedback for a partial, I pretty much tell them what to eat a bag of. And not so many words. I'm actually pretty professional in my written responses. Most of you know that. Bill and David are here.
Hi, Bill and David.
Bill and David. A present came to my house today for you guys that you guys will get next weekend. It's from me and Sydney and Colleen. Shelly's here. Hi, Shelly, longtime viewer. Caffeinated Christy. Pete, longtime viewer as well. Both members of the Facebook group. Pete says this irritates him to no end. The Happy Gingers are here. Rhonda and Amelia, Sandra, sorry. We have a lot of regulars in here. Here's Holly, and she's another one of my mods, as well as Bill and David. Robert's here, zombie bargain hunter. Let me
Arlene is here. Hi, Arlene.
Is that one of your peeps?
Yes, she's from my group. We met her in Vegas last year. She didn't go this year, but we met her last year.
Awesome. I'm trying to fix something here. I cannot multitask in case
What's
you guys.
What's wrong with it?
All right. I just fixed something. Let's see if they notice. See you Saturday. Yeah, guys, the meetup is Saturday. Less than a week away. And a couple days after that is Q4. And tomorrow, Sydney, is the first day of fall.
I've been celebrating fall since August 1st, so.
Yeah, well, but it's the
I'll go to Starbucks and get something pumpkin flavored.
The rest of the world in the calendar is catching up to us. Jody's here. Hi, Jody. Hi, Diana. Deb and Mel in the house. Hey, ladies. Love you guys. Lisa's here. Rachel. Dennis. Dan is also coming to the meetup. So you haven't met him. Have you met Danny?
Have I met him?
Or talked to him?
Maybe.
He's pretty cool. He lives out by the guys.
Nice.
I guess they work together. But Robin is here. All right. So before we get into the meat, I have something I want to say. And I'm going to say it. So I don't articulate as well as I write the written word, but I have a speech prepared, so I'm just gonna.
Star has been prepared for this all day, so.
I have been, and I have something that I really, really want to say, but I want to articulate it in a way that comes off as intelligent and helpful, rather than snarky or snotty or bossy. So I wrote it down because I'm really, really good with the written word. Like I said, I'm really good with customer service. I actually used to be a paid and published freelance writer, so I wrote it down because I do better with writing, and that way it doesn't come across the wrong way. So Sydney and I are here tonight to have a real talk with you guys about racing to the bottom. The reasons why you shouldn't do it. Not that we're telling you what you should do, but there are reasons why you shouldn't do it that are beneficial to you as strong business owners. There are reasons that you shouldn't do it because it affects the entire reselling community as a whole, and it spreads. It has spread from eBay to Poshmark. It used to be an eBay dilemma. It used to be an eBay problem, where people would always race to the bottom, but it has spread to Poshmark now, right? Sorry.
Because the community is growing. The community is growing every day, and people are looking for alternative platforms to eBay, probably because a lot of what happened this week, things like that. eBay is constantly changing stuff, and people are going to other platforms, so it's going to happen everywhere.
Yeah. So it affects your bottom line. It affects the stability of your business. It affects everyone in the community. So Sydney and I are here to have a real talk with you to help you guys understand that. That's all we want to do. We want to help you understand that when you make choices that aren't best practices, you can be doing something detrimental to someone else in the community who depends on this to put food on the table, to put diapers on their baby, to buy formula, to pay their rent, to pay their mortgage. Not everyone who's a reseller is rich. A lot of us do this and we're comfortable, but if we don't have it, we're no longer comfortable, if that makes sense. So you see all the YouTubers and all the fancy people, and they all have money, and that's great. But there's a lot of resellers who aren't on YouTube that are single mothers, people with disabilities. And when you race to the bottom, that single mother who used to sell her silver jeans for $50, and that was how she paid for her daughter's cheerleading or her son's karate or how she kept the lights on in the house. Now that silver jeans are selling for $20, you could have taken food out of her kids' mouths. So we just want you guys to understand that this can detrimentally affect the entire community and people on an individual level. So it's kind of selfish when you do it. We want you also to make more money for yourselves, and we're going to get into that a little bit more on why it's better to make more money. It's not about greed. It's about sustainability. If you want to keep spinning your wheels and making $5 profits, I will be ordering my coffee from you next year at McDonald's. And that sounds tough and that sounds hard, but it is the truth. If you want to sell your shit like it's a garage sale, like it's junk, say hi to me when I walk to Walmart next year, or you're going to be, at the counter when I order my coffee. If you want to build and buy better inventory and buy more inventory and scale up and start getting into electronics and wholesale and making more money and maybe getting a warehouse or a storage unit or an employee, and you want this to be something that you can do for the rest of your life, then you're going to make more money. When Bill Gates started out, he never said enough was enough. He didn't say, oh, that's good enough. Bill Gates kept going until he had enough money to build his empire. The same with a lot of other prominent people. I'm not going to go through the list. You guys know who all of them are. But if enough is good enough is good enough for you, you're never going to go anywhere. I mean, that applies to things outside of business as well. But you're shortchanging yourself when you're not making the most money you can make. It is not about being greedy. It is not about ripping people off. This is your job.
Mm-hmm.
Your time is valuable. If you went to a job where you clocked in and out every day and they weren't paying you what you were worth, or you felt like you were putting more work in than you were getting paid for, you wouldn't work there anymore. Got to put value. Look, we're getting on the soapbox. We'll get into that in a little bit more. But you need to put value on your own time. You need to figure in your supplies, your time, your gas money, the wear on your tires. I have to go tomorrow and put 4 new tires on my car because we wore them down.
My car commercial light came on the other day. So
yep. Got new brakes, got to get tires, got to buy boxes. I mean, there's so much to this business and so much overhead that you're not thinking of when you have that mindset. Well, I only paid 10 cents, so selling it for $10 and making a $5 profit is good enough for me. Well, that's not good enough if you want to do this forever, if you want this to be a good business. $5 profits aren't going to pay for your tissue paper, your poly bags, your internet, your phone, your gas, your tires, your cost of goods. You're never going to scale up. You're always going to be selling stuff from the bins. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but you want to scale up.
Just because stuff comes from the bins, I feel like a lot of people have this perception that just because stuff comes from the bins means, oh, I'm going to sell it as cheap as I can because I got it as cheap as I could. And that's a very dangerous place to go into.
We got a super chat from the guys. $4.99. Thank you, Bill and David. You guys are turds. I just bought you guys a present, and now you're giving me money. I'm going to put a $5 bill in their present.
I'll buy us a burger at Wahlburgers, maybe.
Katie and Vicky are in the house. Katie's driving, but Vicky's talking. I'm really happy.
Hi, Katie and Vicky.
Hi, ladies. Really happy to see your hair because I know that Vicky feels really strongly on this as well as Katie does. I'm just going to go to the chat real quick. Deb.
Hi, Sylvia.
Deb uses this to pay her rent.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, exactly. So if you pay 10 cents for something, does it mean you have to sell it for $10 and make a $5 profit and be okay with that? Or could you sell it for 20 and make a $10 profit and maybe buy more inventory next time and build up your listings? Because the more you have listed, the more you sell, clearly. Or maybe you could start doing storage units, wholesale, buying off the rack, going into jewelry, going into electronics. There's so many places in this business you can go into, but you can't do it without capital. And you can't build capital if your profits are barely covering your time and your cost of goods. And speaking of overhead, there's a lot of things people don't think about. And then I'm going to get off my soapbox and let Cindy talk for a while. But this is just my intro.
It's the intro. I'm going to let you go. Go for it.
When you work for yourself, you got a lot of overhead. You guys got to think of everything. It's not just your supplies and the items you're sourcing. It's not just the wear and tear on your car and the gas. Are you thinking about your retirement? Are your little $5 profits ever going to be enough for you to put a nest egg away to go into retirement? Are you paying off your debt? If you don't follow Dave Ramsey, you should be. But are you paying off your debt? Are you building a nest egg? Are you building a savings? Are you paying for insurance because you're self-employed? How the hell can you afford insurance if you're not making the most money that you possibly can? And again, better inventory. Do you want to scale up? Do you want to get out of clothing? Do you want to buy better brands of clothing? Do you want to buy mystery boxes from Sydney? Or do you want to buy wholesale from people? You can't do that until you build more money. And making $5, I don't care if you spent a penny on it. If its market value is $40, you should be selling it for $40. The thing with people who have the mindset of, well, I only paid, here's your problem. That's great that you only paid that. You should be making more profits than me because you paid less for it, and you should be growing your business faster. The point of paying less for the cost of goods is to make more money. If you got it for a penny and you comp it and it should be 40, do not sell it for 20 because you only paid a penny or got it for free. Sell it for 40. Make more money than I make. Go out and buy more inventory because I paid 99 cents for mine, so you're going to make more profit than me. There's people who pay $2.50 because their Goodwills don't have 99-cent days. So I'm going to run through the chat real quick and see what people are saying. Yeah, if someone found Deb found a Hermes tie at the Benz. You don't price that low just because it came from the Benz.
No.
We are turds then. David and Bill, you're the best turds, though. I love you. Doesn't matter what you paid. Sell it for what it's worth. Pete says, I'm disabled and lost my health insurance. I have to have this income to stay alive. Exactly. A lot of people don't understand, but a lot of people go into this, not everyone, but a lot, and I'm one of them, go into this because they don't have any other choice. They don't have any other option. They're disabled. They can't get a job outside of the house, and this is something that you can do. You can cater to your disability and make it work for you. So that said, in order to grow a sustainable business that will make you money and support you for years to come, you have to maximize your profits. If you don't maximize your profits, you're either going to stay exactly where you're at, stagnant, spinning your wheels in the mud forever and ever and ever, or you're going to be back working for the man within a year. Period. What are your thoughts on that, Sid?
I mean, I feel like people have got to get out of this mindset of, oh, I feel like people a lot of times get in the mindset, oh, well, somebody's not going to pay as much for this because it's used. Or, I wouldn't pay this much for this, so nobody else is going to pay this much for this. So you really have to kind of think in terms of the perspective of the customer. And, if you find a shirt that retails for over $100 and that customer usually pays over $100 for the shirt, and then you're selling it for 40 to 50, they're more than happy to pay that because they usually paid over $100 for something that they can now get for 40 to 50. So I feel like, a lot of it is about the mindset that people have, going to the bins. Oh, well, nobody bought this at Goodwill, so I don't know if people are going to buy it for me, but it's cheap. So, they buy it because it's cheap. But just because it's cheap doesn't mean that nobody wants it or nobody's going to pay a lot for it.
Yeah, that's a very good point. If no one bought it at the Goodwill in South Carolina, so it went to the bins, that doesn't mean someone in Arizona hasn't been looking for it.
Right.
Goodwill didn't have the global market that eBay and Poshmark give us. Well, Poshmark gives us national market, eBay gives us global. But I think a lot of people too, and I want Sydney's opinion on this as well, it's the mindset, well, it's used, they're not going to pay it. I wouldn't pay it. But there's also the fear when you go to comp and you see all those low prices, you have the fear of pricing it higher because you see that everyone else has already raced to the bottom. What are your thoughts on that?
I feel like you have to get away from the comps. You have to get to a point in your business where you are confident pricing your items without relying solely on comps for stuff. Because not everything can be comp. If you go out to a Goodwill and you find some 80s band t-shirt that's rare that nobody else has and there's not going to be any comps for it, you have to figure out what you have and you have to set the price for that item. So just act as if there are no comps for items sometimes, because you can't rely solely on comps to tell you what you should price something at. You have to be confident about what you are doing. And you can't let these people who, are selling stuff off of their bedroom floor for $4 affect what you're going to sell something for.
Yeah, and I had a good thought and I lost it. Whoops, guys, that's what happens on live shows. We have a very good example of that, don't we? So I recently got a haul of Dansko shoes, clogs, and I comped them on eBay. And most of them comped around 20, 25 free ship, which was disappointing. So the majority of mine I put up for 35 or 40, which was double the comps already. But I'm confident I can get it. But I had one specific pair that was very, very special. Inside the shoe, it said limited special edition. The bottoms had no wear on them. They looked like they'd never been worn. They looked like someone bought them and never wore them. And they looked brand new. They were a rare limited edition. And they were comping on eBay the same way the other ones were. So I put them up for 50 because now I'm more than double. So these shoes that were comping so low, the ones that I felt were special, I put up even higher. I don't know why I took that best offer. They sold for 35, and I'm thinking, what the heck was I thinking? It was Tuesday morning. It was like really early, wasn't it?
And then you took the best offer, and then the person started complaining.
Yeah,
they wanted another discount.
I took the best offer. I don't know why, because that's so not me. Like it had only been up for less than a week. I told you that. Usually if I put something up at 50 and it's less than a week and it's special, I'll hold out for 45. She must have hit me right when I woke up. Anyway, she then complained, oh, but your listing said it was free shipping, which my listing did not say. And I sent her screenshots of the original listing and said, sorry, we can't offer you free shipping on shoes. She asked to cancel the order. And Sydney said, don't put them back up on eBay, put them over on Poshmark, but put them really, really high. So I put them on Poshmark at Sid's suggestion for $105. I did not relist them on eBay. By the way, I didn't tell you this, Sydney. 2 days later, she messaged me and asked me if they were still available and could she buy them. I ignored her.
Nope.
I ignored her. And
nope. Don't ignore her, because I think eBay like does something to your account if you don't answer people's messages.
I don't really think they do, because I ignore about 80%.
Because it tells you like you have an unread message or an unanswered question from somebody. I guarantee you they do something. I think they do.
I ignore a lot. Like, if they are trying to fight with me, if they're trying to be aggressive, like her, I ignore a lot. Not on Poshmark.
I don't fight with people on eBay. Absolutely not.
Yeah, I ignore a lot of messages, to be truthful. And I've been successful. So.
I wish I could ignore people who ask me questions that are in the listings.
See, those people I like to respond to with a winky face. Did you read the listing? Okay, so anyway, the dance goes went back up on Poshmark for 105. They went up Tuesday. They had a lot of likes on it, them. And everyone that liked it, as they liked it during the day, I would check. I was sending 20% off, $1.89 discount. So it was like $84. It's like $89 shipped total. This morning, I decided no one's biting at that, but I did push them up really, really high. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to send a 30% offer out because I had the room to do it. I had priced them so high.
Correct.
These are shoes that comped on eBay for $30, $35, but they were so special. These never should have been on eBay for $30 or $35.
No, they were beautiful.
I'm trying to pull them up.
And they were unique. Like, I've never seen a pair of dance goes like that before.
Well, I've already got them packed to ship out tomorrow, but I sent out 30% off this morning and free shipping. So they sold for, you can't see that.
You can see the number.
73, right there.
Yeah.
They sold for $73. Now, these are shoes that just 5 days ago sold on eBay for $35. So you can absolutely, there's 2 points I wanted to make there. If you comp something on eBay and you feel bad, you feel wrong about it, like I felt about all my dance goods. Like, why are these selling for $20? No way. So I listed all mine at 40, really special ones at 50. Yeah, that's the first thing I want to say. If you feel bad about it, I do this a lot with plush. If I know my plush is worth money, it's a rare villain from Robin Hood from 1945 from Walt Disney Parks, and everybody's selling it for $8 free ship. I don't give a crap. Mine's going for 40, right? You got to go with your gut. You got to go with what you know your stuff is worth.
You're confident about that, so you got to get confident about the shoes too.
So if you learn your stuff, if you get confident. I'm not that way with shoes yet. I'm that way with plush.
You'll get there. You're getting there.
But if you feel bad about it, if you comp it and you're like, this isn't right, I know this is worth more, go with your gut feeling and price higher. The second point I wanted to make, you can price even higher than that over on Poshmark because that's just that market. They expect offers. They want discounts. So you can go even way higher on Poshmark and you'll be okay. But learn your stuff. Like Sydney said, confidence. And it comes either with research or time or both, or watching YouTube or listing the same thing over and over. You know, a year ago, 3 years ago, I didn't know shit about fashion, you guys. And I'm swearing a lot tonight. I'm going to demonetize myself. I didn't know anything. Like, I wear jeans and t-shirts and I'm a tomboy. Fast forward to today, I don't care how many people, and if you're doing this, you're a turd. I don't care how many people are selling their silver jeans 20 free ship. You're a turd. You can poop off. I'm still listing mine at 50 because I know they're worth 50. And I know I get 50 for them. Sometimes I'll take a best offer of 40 or 45 on eBay, but I can get 50 on Poshmark all day long. But I list them at 60, 65 over there. So you've got to go with your gut, your knowledge, and it will come. You're going to sell some things way lower than you should, right, Sydney, before you learn. People make mistakes.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, all the time. People are going to let stuff go. You're going to get something home and you're going to sell it for $20, and then Sydney or I or Casey or Colleen or Megan Mawiney will tell you, oh my God, I get $40 or $50 for that every day. And you're going to feel bad, but you shouldn't. Just learn from your mistakes. Don't feel bad about them. Don't be down on yourself. Just moving forward, oh, well, maybe this was a new to me item and I'm just learning denim. So now I know.
Mm-hmm.
But you've got to learn what you're doing and go with your gut. And I've said this before, probably 1,000 times, but I'm gonna say it tonight because it's worth repeating. The best example I can give you is with plush because that is my strong point. There are times when I have a plush that I know is worth, let's say I know it's worth 40. And there's people selling it for 8, 9, 10, sometimes $2 free ship, and I don't know how they do that, but they do. And I know it's worth more than that. And if there's only a handful of cheapos, I put mine up for 40. I take better pictures than the cheapos. I have better keywords in my title, and I have confidence, and I know my item is worth it. And you think that you do that, and you're going to have to wait out those other 4 or 5 or 6 to sell. Not always. Sometimes having a higher price than everybody else puts more value on your item. So when the buyers are looking on the platform, they think, why are all of these low? What's wrong with them? Are they ripped? Are they dirty? Are they stained? They'll think something's wrong. Mentality-wise, they look at those and they think there's something wrong with them, and yours has the perceived value. Yours is the pristine one they want, and they'll pay more for it. I sell plush 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 times the amount that other people are listing them for all the time without waiting for them to sell out because people gravitate towards mine.
Also, another part of that is you have a lot of plush. So if somebody goes and looks at your store and see that you have a lot of plush and that you've sold a lot of plush, they're going to have more confidence in you as a seller of plush, and they're going to be more apt to buy from you.
Yeah, they're going to think I'm an expert on plush. So
yeah, and when you price it at the price that you do, they're going to think they're getting a better quality item from you.
Yep.
Versus somebody who has the same thing priced at $8 free shipping. They would rather have the quality item and know that they're getting a quality item from a reputable seller than buy it from some random person who has not priced it in terms of the quality.
Yep. And I think I said this in last week's show, maybe it was last week, that a lot of plush sellers, and please don't do this, if you follow me, probably 50% of you do it because you want to learn plush. Don't take shitty plush. There we go again. Every time I get on here with a friend, it's like, oh, I forget I'm on YouTube. Let me just swear.
You need a jar.
I know.
Every time she swears, somebody donate $1.
Don't take crappy photos. How many people who've seen the plush on the dirty floor, on the couch, in the dark? All you can see is one glowing eyeball and maybe like the nose. Like the photos are so bad. And a lot of times when I'm comping my plush, I'm like, well, that's why yours is $2 because you don't know how to take a photograph.
I mean, I have literally seen people take pictures of clothes laying in the grass, like in the dirt on the grass. And I'm just like, why would you take a clean item and lay it in the grass? Why would you do that?
I am going to read a comment from Yard Sale Steals 300. I have 3 pairs of Danskos on Poshmark for $75. It's been 5 months. Tons of likes, sent offers. So here's what I would suggest. You need to check your photos and your titles because I have sold like 7 pairs of Danskos in 2 weeks. And
well, also, like, it depends on what kind of Danskos they are as well. So,
yeah. It depends on how special they are, the size. But I would check your title and your photos because they shouldn't be sitting for 5 months. Like I can't remember how long ago I bought mine because you guys know I have death piles, but they've only been in the between eBay and Poshmark for like 2 weeks, and I have 1 pair left out of there were 10. There's 2 pairs left, so I sold 8.
The ones that you found at that yard sale were phenomenal. Like they were all like the Danskos that you need to be buying.
And then did you see the other 2 pair I found a week later?
I can't remember.
The 1 pair is engraved. It's sold on eBay today for 36 or 40. And they were engraved, but they weren't the patent leather. And then there's a patent leather Mary Jane slingbacks. But check your photos because I don't think they should be sitting. Because even there's a brand called Clogs with a K. I got some of those as well with the Danskos. And
I saw those. I have never found those.
Those have been selling faster than the Danskos. They're going like every day for 30, 40 bucks.
Another brand called, I think it's pronounced Bach, B-O-C. They're also like leather clogs that will sell almost for as much as the Danskos, as long as they're real leather.
Yep. I want to read Merrill's now. Good for you, Star. Set your own comps. I've done the same thing. We need to raise the bar that the lowball sellers have lowered. Exactly. If you want to sell your items like you're at a garage sale, then you're going to make money like you just had a garage sale. I don't know what you do with your money from a garage sale, but you sure as heck ain't.
And honestly, in the time that it takes you to list these things that people are selling for $8, $9, $10 free shipping, you would almost be better off to have a yard sale rather than have to take all this time to list it and then to ship it. Like, you would make more money having a yard sale.
Yep.
Selling to Play-Dohs or selling to ThredUp or doing something like that, rather than take the time to list, 100 individual $10 items. Now, the only exception that I can really think of to this is if you have something that you can list quantity. Like if you buy one item that you have 1,000 of the same item and you can list it one time and sell it over and over again and just let it ride, that's going to be the only exception to this $10 free shipping thing. So, we're not really talking about people who are selling quantity items. We're talking about people who are buying individual items and then listing them for $10 free shipping.
Yeah. And I would say the only exception to this, and I'm going to only mention it because there's going to be someone out there who goes through my store and my closet tonight. But Star, you have 99-cent auctions, and but Star, you have $10 items.
And those are your clearance items, just like when a store has had something for a long time and they put something on clearance to get their money back for it.
A lot of the items, actually all of the items that you see in our store that are below $10 or on Poshmark for 10 or 12 or less, they're 2 years old or older. They're mistakes we shouldn't have brought home, or they had damage we missed. There's a lot of reasons that we do, but we don't start that way. You might see a pair of whatever jeans on Poshmark of mine for $10. They've been sitting there for 2 years, and now I just want rid of them. But they would have started their life out a lot higher. So before anybody fact checks me and says, but Star, you have cheap items too. I do, but I'm also very patient. A lot of you people out there that message me all the time or talk in the Facebook groups, you think an item is stale if it doesn't sell in the first month that you list it, and you're crazy. You're cray, girl.
That's another thing too, is that you have to realize that not everything that you buy to sell is actually going to sell. Like, you're going to have items that don't sell, and that's just retail. That's just how it works. There are items in every single store that you go in that are not going to sell, and they're going to get marked 90% off so the store can get rid of it and move on.
They get their money back and they move on.
Yeah.
Going to be things that you can't sell. Things that you can't sell, and you're going to have to let them go. But you also have to keep in mind the long tailness of used clothing. Particular styles, brands, if you find an outlandish shirt with amazing graphics or something popular like Spider-Man, or like the Dansko shoes I found that were all special, things like that might move quickly. But the majority of your used clothing isn't going to magically sell the next day after you list it. It's not going to sell within the first month or 2 or 3 months. Those of you that had Keith and I's clothing guide from the beginning of this year, Keith had it broken down. He had them color-coded. They were red, yellow, and green on how fast most items sold, used and new, and certain brands and types of clothing. And the average clothing takes 3 to 6 months to sell, and your slower ones take 9 months. So when you see my stuff really, really marked down, it's stuff that's been around for 9 months, a year, longer than that. I want it out. I want my dollar back. I paid 99 cents for it. I'm happy to just sell it to break even. But when I bring home new items, as I learn more and I get better and I'm bringing home better stuff, I'm not going to start it at 99 cents, $7.50 shipping option. I'm not going to start it at $10. I'm going to start it as high as I can and work my way down from there. We lower the prices of our clothing items on eBay 5% every other month. The hard goods, 5% every 6 months. Did you hear that? Plush, glassware, gift sets, purses, hats, shoes, things like that. Every 6 months, I lower it 5%, and otherwise, we're sitting on it. I'm more okay with lowering clothes every other month because they're oversaturated. Everybody and their brother is selling clothing. But when you get like unique hard goods or shoes or hats or anything that's unique, like I have 3 of those City Starbucks mugs and I have a Game of Thrones. They've been sitting forever and they're barely below where they started because I feel like you have to wait longer for those. You have to learn patience. I don't even know if this.
You have to find the right buyer for some stuff.
Yeah, you have to.
The right buyer.
You're looking for the right buyer at the right time to come along and be willing. Who's willing to pay $70 for 4 Game of Thrones mugs? Only one of the biggest nerds in the world, and I'm waiting for him. He will find me and he will buy them. But I think I'm mentioning this because I think it goes in with the race to the bottom. People freak out when stuff doesn't sell within a couple weeks. People freak out when it doesn't sell in a month, and they start lowering their prices too much too fast, and that starts a race to the bottom as well. Because if your silver jeans started at 50 and by the end of the month you have them down to 20, a newbie who doesn't know better, who just learned how to comp, is going to see your silver jeans and think that, oh, okay, those sell for 20. And that's where the problem is. That's how it affects the entire community. People like me and Sydney are going to think you're crazy, but people who are new to this, who are just learning, they see your prices and that's what they start pricing stuff at. And before you knew it, we have wrecked an entire market. I can sit here and name brands all day. Lucky Brand, when I started, sold for 40. You're lucky if you can get 20 now. Pardon the pun. Robert Graham, tanked. Tommy Bahama has tanked. These are all on eBay. You can still get good money for some of these on Poshmark, but just in the short
I get really good money for Tommy Bahama. Like,
yeah, you do.
Because I'm willing to wait on it. Like, I will wait for the Tommy Bahama to sell to the right person.
Yeah. But I just in the couple of years that I've been doing this with Keith, I've seen so many brands in my lifetime tank.
Oh,
there's
yeah.
Things like I mean, cut from the cloth, Paige, even Miss Me's down a little bit, Silver's coming down. You guys, if I can get $50 for Miss Me jeans through global shipping program where they're paying another $50 for whatever they pay, you can get $50 free ship in America. Do it. Try it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to read Grand Larson's comment real quick. It was a question. Star, would you pay $6 for silver? Yeah, I do all the time. $6.99 in fact. Full price is $6.99. There's a pair in the car right now. But Saturday, it's in the car because Keith has to take it to the wash. But yeah, $6.99 all day long for silver, for Miss Me, for the BKE men's.
Yeah, $6 for jeans is about my average of what
I'm going to go through the chat real quick and just see what we've been missing. Somebody said she's an expert. I don't know if they're talking about you, me, or somebody else.
I think they're talking about you on the plush.
Oh, okay. I always go back to the chat and then I can't place the, you know what I'm trying to say. Clean my stuff and steam it. Yeah, make your stuff look good. Make your photos look good. She has to donate $1 to all of us watching every time she swears. No, thank you. I already do this for pennies for pretty much free, guys. Pete says to research things. Yeah, research things. If you don't know what it's worth, find out what it's worth. And if everybody else is selling it cheap, but you just researched that it's an ancient Egyptian cat mug, then sell it for a lot of money. Flippin' Blonde loves the swears. They don't come out very often, only when I'm heated, when I'm passionate. And occasionally if I have a guest on who's actually like a very close real life friend of mine, I forget myself. I forget.
Because I know the real you.
You do.
I know the real Star.
The only difference between YouTube Star and Real Star is that Real Star talks like Tarantino movies. But I just forget. I feel like I hang out with my friends. Go ahead and cuss, girl. You know I have a potty mouth. Yeah, you do, Vicky. Vicky knows me too. She's friends with me on Facebook and sees all the stuff I post. But
they think we're crazy from the stuff we post on Facebook.
Yeah. No, I try to usually filter it out here. I know a lot of my viewers have small children and they like to watch while their children are in the room. So I try to keep my channel PG-13. But if you meet me in real life, it's F this, F that. Imagine, and I'm going to age myself here, you younger people may not know who George Carlin is. But if George Carlin had a baby with Tarantino, that is me.
Who is George Carlin?
He was the first comedian to do all the swears on TV.
Oh, okay.
And everything. Look him up when we're done.
I will.
Santa. Sanitas sell well.
Sanita is another brand that I've seen a couple times. Yes, as long as
they're plain black and not shiny. Yeah, if they're plain black and shiny, I kind of almost feel like listing them at 75 even on Poshmark is too much.
Scott's here watching us. Hi, Scott.
I'm not down that far yet.
Oh, I'm looking at it on the other screen, and his comment came before that one.
Oh. Hi, Scott. I didn't see your comment. I'm a turd. Sorry. Chili went to eat chili. That sounds delicious.
I had she crab soup last night. It was so good.
I saw the photo. What is this clearance you speak of? Okay, so Robert is the person that never lowers his prices. He will legit, and he was on the show.
But he has enough items to where he can do that.
Yeah, and he has enough room. He has enough storage.
Yes.
So Robert will legit list something in $19.99 and sit until 2019 on the same price.
And just keep going.
And yeah, he's got like 4,000.
Do that? Absolutely do that. If you can get that many items, go for it.
Yeah. But he's got a lot of plush, video games, hard goods, toys. That's different than used clothing.
Oh, yes.
Used clothing is so oversaturated, you almost have to start lowering your prices over time, which is why Poshmark has the closet closeout and stuff like that. I hate it when I'm scrolling and it jumps. There's an idea, Happy Ginger says, that on Poshmark, things don't sell within 30 to 60 days. It's a dud. No. Things might take longer on Poshmark anyway because it's not as wide.
I have had stuff that will like gradually get moved to the bottom of my closet and like it's so far down there and then solds get pushed in front of it and I'll forget it's there and forget to share it. And then all of a sudden somebody comes along and buys it. So that means that people are searching for stuff as well. They're not just scrolling through the news feed, like window shopping, as I call it. Mm-hmm. Like people are still searching for stuff. So just because it's been there a while doesn't mean it won't sell ever.
Yeah, I do that too. They get
pushed down and then I don't see them and I forget about them.
Or I'll find them like a couple months later. You haven't shared this in 95 days. Whoops.
Yeah, and somebody will like it and I'm just like, oh yeah, I have that. I forgot about that.
Jamie Brown says, jump the shark. I don't even remember what we were talking about when he said that. Do you?
Who?
Jamie Brown, jump the shark.
I don't even see that comment.
Or maybe.
I have no idea.
Oh, Katie said, Miss Me has mostly jumped the shark.
Okay.
And jump the shark is a reference to like, it started with Happy Days when they had Fonzie literally jump over a shark on his motorcycle. But now it's often used if a show is getting too far in its seasons, it's getting boring, losing viewers, and they do something really wild, like pairing Rachel with Joey. That was jumping the shark.
That was weird.
Yeah.
I was 10 years old when that happened, and I'm like, this is weird.
Yeah, it was really weird. Carlin was the man.
Kimberly, thank you for signing up for my webinar. I appreciate that. We are going to talk a lot about pricing.
Yeah, David, I pretty much do all silver at 50. So there probably are some styles that are better for value and pricing, but I'm also a volume-based business, so you have to keep that in mind as well. I do volume. I push to list 20 items a day. So if I know what I listed at, I just list them all. And I would kind of agree that Miss Me has jumped the shark, but I still sell at least a pair every week or every other week for $50, $60.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay. Especially like the more embellished and stuff they are. I found a pair of Miss Me's the other day that were just plain jeans, and I almost missed them. And I almost thought they were fake because they didn't have anything on them.
Yeah, I just showed a pair in my haul video last week. They were very, very plain. Mm-hmm. And I kind of looked them over in the store.
The label was weird too on the inside. The only thing that I saw where I knew they were Miss Me jeans is it had the M on the back, like very, very small on the back pocket. And I was like, this is really strange. I've never seen a pair like that before.
They were different. So those I might put up for like 40 because they're not embellished.
Yeah, I looked up the plain ones and like what they retail for and stuff, and they were not nearly as much as the embellished ones. They were just like basic, like bottom basic.
But typically I don't, shoes I still comp because I'm learning them. But plush and jeans and stuff, I don't comp anymore. I know what I want. And I just have like a general, like all my mall brands are going to be 20 if they're plain or small sizes, 22 if they're unique or plus size, 24 if they're both, maybe 26. And that's across the board. Like I just know what I do. So all silver's $50 to me. You can
Colleen's here. Hi, Colleen.
Can always put offers on. Hi, Colleen. Is there a trick I use for algorithm on Posh as far as my title? No, because the beautiful part about Poshmark, and Sid can attest, is unlike eBay, when people do a search, it looks for keywords and your title and your description.
It does.
Yep. eBay only looks at your title. So that's why they have that formula that you're supposed to follow and cram all your keywords into the title. But Poshmark, you can literally just put shoes. And then you can put all the details in the description. And whoever searches for Dansko, patent leather, sling black, Mary Jane's, if that's in the description box and my title says shoes, they're still going to see mine. But still put a nice title. But there's no real trick to that. It's eBay's algorithm is the one you have to trick with the title.
Yeah, their Cassini is weird about how they do their titles.
Robert says he still has 4 shirts on eBay. Maybe he'll drop the price 16 years later. Yeah, clothes you kind of have to just because you just do. Clothes are oversaturated. Meryl says if comps seem low on an item, you can go to the brand site and see what it sells for new, then adjust your price accordingly. And that's exactly what Sydney's been saying. So tell them your theory about the retail.
I think you have to look at retail prices, especially like on Miss Me, Silver Jeans, all these jeans that retail $150 and up. You need to know what they retail for to base your prices, because people who are pricing these things at $10 are not looking up retail prices. Mm-hmm. And then you also have to think in terms of the customer, like, because like I said earlier, the customers are used to paying these retail prices for these things, for these items, and they will come on places like eBay and Poshmark, and something they've usually paid $150 for, they find for $50, they'll be completely fine paying that, because as long as you've got your pictures good, measurements, all that, they're gonna pay it because they usually pay $150 for it. So you just have to cover all your bases to get these prices.
Right. So people coming to eBay or Poshmark because they think it's a garage sale probably are going to think your price too high, and they're going to look for the turds that are listing for $10. But like she just mentioned, if you're a person who only wears one brand, but you don't want to pay full retail price because it's too expensive, you would look for it used online. And the people that know their brands and know what they like, so I censored myself that time. Shoot, this is half off of what I would pay at the mall or at the outlet, or not the outlet, at the department store. So it's like you almost want to pick who do you want to cater to. And this is going to lead me into something else real quick. Side note, I have noticed, and I know that many other resellers can attest to this, I have more issues and problems with buyers who buy my clearance stuff than people who pay $70 for a pair of shoes. The people who pay up for items have money and they want to spend their money. And these are people that probably do go to Macy's and Saks Fifth Avenue in New York City. But if they can find it used at half off or for a bargain online, they'll do it. And they know what it's worth. But most of my issues and my buyers that are upset and do the feedback extortion and want partial refunds, it's people over like $10. Mm-hmm. People who have money and spend money on expensive items usually won't cause issues. But I think that people who can only spend $10 on a pair of jeans, that $10 means a lot to them. And so if it's not exactly perfect or what they expect, they need that $10 back. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. there's definitely, like you said, that $10 means a lot to them. So they're going to be more picky about what they're buying, especially when they receive the item.
Yeah. And people who are willing to pay up know their brand. They know what they're doing. There's people who don't. So when you complain about lowball offers, I see that all the time too. Okay, first of all, every offer is a free, this is on eBay, not Poshmark. Every offer is a free boost in the searches, period. So whether you think it was insulting, well, you shouldn't even think that it's insulting and it shouldn't bother you, because number one rule of business is to take your emotion and put it over here. If you're putting your emotion in your business, you're not running a business, you're not a business person. And that's another harsh truth that you're just going to have to hear from me tonight. If you allow your emotions into your business, you are not a business. Do you think
so you have something that is affecting your emotions and affecting your business, you need to get rid of it.
Yeah, you can't have emotions in business. So when you get a lowball offer, you shouldn't be offended. You shouldn't feel slighted. It's an offer. You're a business. You don't have to accept it.
And the same goes when people open up cases against you. Like, you can't take these things personally. You just have to state your case and move on. And don't even think about the result that happens. Because worst case scenario, they return the item and you sell it again. And sometimes you might not be able to sell items again. Sometimes people might return stuff that's damaged. And that's just a realistic cost of this business. That's just retail. Stuff gets damaged all the time. I worked in retail for 10 years, and every store has a damage log, and you throw it away, you write it down as a loss, and you move on, and you sell more stuff.
Yeah, you don't think that Walmart owners cry every time there's a return or worry about it.
They sell those returns in bulk to people and make money on them. So
yeah, so you can't have emotions. You're going to have returns. You're going to have rude people. You just have to stay professional and keep your emotions out of it at all times. Offer our boost in sale on Poshmark also. Yes, offers are a boost in sales. I'm talking about a boost in your searches. When you get offers on eBay and you counter and you go back and forth, that lets Cassini know that item is desirable. She, I guess we refer to Cassini as a she. The algorithm on eBay is Cassini, if you don't know. Getting offers on items on eBay, it makes the item look desirable, so it gets pushed up. So you should never decline. You should never have your auto decline on. I don't care if they offer you 2 cents and a dog turd. Do not decline it.
No, never decline things. Like, how on Poshmark, when you send out offers to likers and somebody declines your offer, don't be that person.
Yeah. Well, the thing on eBay, if you decline it, you're not taking advantage of that counter and getting that boost in the searches. So even if they offer you 2 pennies and a shiny dog turd, don't decline it. Counter with 5 or 10% off and go on with your day. You just got a free boost. And like Robert just said in the chat, he loves when he gets a crappy offer and it sells for full price minutes later. You know why? Because that crappy offer
just boosted it.
Yeah, boosted
it. More people saw it.
So I 1000% recommend never decline on either platform, on eBay especially, because it boosts your searches. Don't set your auto decline either. So many people are like, oh my God, I don't have time for that. You do.
Yes, you do, because this is your job. This is your business. So yes, absolutely. You have time to monitor your offers and accept them or counter them.
That was the snotty star coming out. Oh my God, I don't have time to counter my offers that are low, so I turn on the decline because I don't have time for that.
Oh my.
This is your business. It takes, do you know how long it takes to counter something? I get, and I'm not exaggerating, 20 lowball offers a day. Do you know how many seconds I spend countering all 20 of them? 20. You legit can counter something in like a second or two. You just go on autopilot. Like, I think too many people think the whole emotion thing. Well, I'm offended. Well, that's rude. No, I literally just for 5 or 10% back, free boost. This is tough love tonight, guys. If you don't have time to counter offers, if you don't have time to look up retail prices, if you don't have time,
you need to be monitoring your stuff on your phone, but that's a different show.
If you don't have time for any of this, then you need to not be doing this, period.
Very much so.
You're running a business. You're not an employee anymore. Can I say that again? Is that important enough to say again? You are running a business. You are not an employee. Therefore, you are the boss, the accountant, the shopper.
You are everything.
Shipper, the customer service. You're everything.
So and your store is open 24 hours a day.
Yes. Well,
24 hours a day.
I don't answer shit when I'm sleeping, and I do ignore stuff on the weekends.
I don't answer when I'm sleeping, but if I wake up in the middle of the night and see something, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to answer it.
Yeah, don't be me. I legit don't answer stuff on the weekends.
I probably need to do that.
I do on Poshmark, but not eBay, because we get a lot of messages. And I sit down Monday morning, and I write everyone back. And sometimes they're impatient, like they'll write you Friday night for measurements, and then they come back Sunday and write you a second time. When I message them Monday morning, I'm always very professional, polite, and say, good morning, we were out of the office for the weekend. It was after business hours. You can explain it nicely, and then you can get back to them.
I had to explain to people, like, when the hurricane was hitting and the whole town shut down, like, because I had people buy stuff, and one person messaged me a few hours later saying, you know, when is this going to ship? And I had to explain to several people that, you know, we were having a hurricane and there was no mail and I couldn't go to the post office. So.
As long as you're professional, polite, most people understand.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
If you have time on the weekends or you want to answer on the weekend, you can. I just kind of try to have a general rule that on the weekends, I'm catching up on everything I can't do during the week.
You have to set office hours. Like, you have to have a sense of office hours, like main office
Jason's
hours.
here.
Hi, Jason.
Hi, Jason.
Welcome to our show.
So Noelle asks, when you counter, does that lock out the item for 48 hours to others? Absolutely not. You can counter it, and other people can still counter on it. Other people can swoop in and buy it. You'll still see it sometimes pop up on your offers to watchers on your seller hub. The only thing on Poshmark, it keeps you from marking it not for sale, but you just change the size, and it'll let you. Mm-hmm. Star must hate me. I'm not wrenched. I don't hate you. You want a wrench?
Give him a wrench.
Give him a wrench.
Actually, give Jessica a wrench.
I gave someone else one. I might have missed it in the chat, but I don't know if they noticed or not. Remember at the beginning when I said I was
Jessica,
somebody got a wrench tonight and didn't notice it. Anyway, I want to go back on my soapbox real quick.
Okay.
If you don't have time for any of these things we're talking about, then you clearly don't have time to have a business. And here's something else I want to say. If you don't have time for all of this and you dream of a day where you don't have to do this, someday I'll hire a photographer. Someday I'll hire a lister. Then you better be pricing your items higher, because if you're the one that's selling them for $5 free ship, you are never going to be able to upgrade or upscale. You are never going to be able to have listers, photographers, a warehouse, employees. You're probably going to be eating ramens for the rest of your life.
Because you need the most profit you can get to grow, to buy more inventory, to build your business, to buy a storage unit, to buy a warehouse, to buy a place to have your business. You know, you eventually want to build, and you can't do that accepting the least amount of profit you can get.
Mm-hmm. And I've been accused of being called greedy because I do talk a lot about this subject. It is one of my big things. It's not greedy to want to grow your business.
No.
At all. If you're working out of a 1-bedroom apartment and you someday dream of upgrading to a 2-bedroom apartment or buying a house and having a whole eBay room, there's nothing wrong with maximizing the profits in your business to upgrade not only your business, but your life. It's just like with any other job. The longer you're there, you get raises, you get promotions, you start to make more money, you start to live a better lifestyle. Your job may change a little bit. It's just like that with this. If you maximize your profits all the time, eventually you can have employees, and that's your promotion. Maybe you don't have to list anymore because you hired a lister. Now all you get to do is the fun stuff. You go out and source. Or you get a better car, a bigger house, just like you would, you know, if your job gave you a promotion or a raise. You don't want to be in the same place forever. You don't want to be in a dead-end job, and that includes your reselling business. You want to grow, you want to promote yourself and give yourself raises and become bigger and better. It's not being greedy. I know I mentioned it, Bill Gates at the beginning, but when he was just starting out and he was trying to get to where he is now, that wasn't being greedy. He was trying to get out of the basement of his mom's house and build an empire.
He was in a garage, like he was absolutely trying to build.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I don't see it as greed. I just see it as
you have to make it a priority. It's a priority.
Yeah, you do. You have to give yourself promotions and raises and you need permission to take vacations. If you're going to be selling everything for $5 or $10 all the time, I'm not talking about clearance stuff you're trying to get rid of, you're never going to go to eBay Open. You're never going to be able to afford it. You're never going to go to Orlando in Florida. I'm just giving you examples of things that Keith and I have been able to afford because we aren't greedy. We just try to make the most money we can and maximize our profits. And we're able to go to eBay Open. We're able to go to Florida for Halloween. A lot of our money's being saved, though. Sydney knows, most of you, my longtime viewers, we're hoarding it like little dragons because we're trying to save up a year's worth of all expenses, not just bills. We don't want our lifestyle to change at all. So we have sat down and figured out how much we spend on eating out, movies, our whole lifestyle, and bills. And we're trying to save up a year's worth of that so Keith can quit his job. Now, most people save up 6 months before they quit. We're OCD overachievers, but there's nothing wrong with growing. And here's the thing. I think this is something, we're over an hour, but we're going to keep going until we're done. We're going to keep going until I'm done because I'm not done yet.
We're in this for the long haul. This is prime time viewing.
If you're not pricing your items at where they should be priced, you have no value in yourself. That's harsh, but it's true because you spent the time to drive and look and source and dig and buy and bring home and wash and steam and photograph and list, and now you're selling it for $5. You absolutely have no value in your own self or your own time. Are you worth $5 an hour? Not that every item takes a whole hour by itself, but you're worth more than that. If you're going to spend all the time on every single item, then you should be making more because, hey, Dominic's here.
I said prime time, and here he is.
Prime time's in the house. Yeah,
we've got lurkers. We've got lurkers in the background.
Your time and energy, Hilda says, has value and should be paid. Absolutely, what I just said. Yeah, I heard they were watching the Steelers with Keith's grandparents. I was like, is that baseball? No, I'm kidding. I know what it is. But if you're not in this to make money, why are you doing it? If you want to spin your wheels in the mud and stay in the same exact place for the rest of your life, go get a job at Walmart or Target. You can still sell clothes, but you can do what you're doing now. If you want, and like I said at the beginning, okay, well, number one, you have to value yourself in your own time. What are you worth? I want to make $50 an hour. What are you worth, Sydney?
More than that. Like, as much time as I put into everything, and this is something that a lot of people don't understand as well, is you deserve to be paid for your time. And this is something that I had to learn starting out because I didn't start out reselling clothing. I started out reselling things I was making by hand. And I was selling them, at whatever price I could just to sell them. And I was hurting myself because I wasn't factoring in my time that I was spending making the stuff. And so you have to realize that your time is more valuable than actual money. Like, your time is the most valuable thing you have. So you have to charge for your time. You absolutely have to charge for your time. And you have to put value on your inventory, including what you're charging for your time.
Yeah, so you have to factor all of that in. You should be paid for your time. So if you guys want to get down on resellers that sell guides or webinars, you can get right on out the door with that. There's the door, go, don't let it hit your ass. Because I'm going to tell you what, Keith spent over 20 hours on our guide. And we sold it at a reasonable price, but we couldn't give it away for free because that was 20 hours. And if he can list 10 items an hour, that would have been 200 items he could have listed. If we average profit $20 on all of those, that was like 4,000 or 40,000. I don't know how to do math. It's a lot of money. So, if we spend the time doing things, a lot of us do 90% of what we do for free. And then once in a while, we'll sell something. And you really shouldn't get down on people who do that. A lot of us do a lot of this for free. You think we make money on Facebook.
I mean, you wouldn't go up to a personal trainer and be like, hey, I want you to teach me how to work out, how to get fit. Oh, and I want you to do it for free. Like, you're not going to walk up to a person and tell them that. You're not going to go, sign your kid up for piano lessons and be like, oh, I want you to teach my kid piano lessons for free. Like, no, you expect to pay that person for their time and skill. Mm-hmm. So everybody deserves to be paid for their time and skill.
Exactly. So even if you think it's something you could do yourself, you have to think about your own time. So let's say I wasn't disabled and I was able to mow my own lawn. Do I want to pay John down the street $20 to do it? Because I'd probably pay $20 to do it because I don't want to do it. You may be someone who likes the outdoors or a landscaper like Noelle, so she can do her own yard. There's a lot of things I can do that I pay people to do for me because I can use my time better somewhere else.
Right. So you pay that person $20 to mow your lawn. In the time that they're mowing your lawn, you've listed 10 items, which is potential $500 profit. So, you gave them that $20 to make a better use of your time so that you can make more money.
So like everybody can go out and do all the research that goes into creating a guide, but it takes years and hours to get to the point where you know everything, and you never will know everything. But just for the information, if you're brand new, the information that you buy in a guide from Casey or Sydney or us, like our clothing guide, that information in there is going to take you years and years and years and hours. For seasoned vets, it can take 16 to 25 hours to put a guide together. And we know stuff already. But we're putting the spreadsheets and we're doing what's happening?
Nothing.
I'm like, what's happening? You're looking up. Is there a ghost?
Pennywise is behind you.
Hi, Pennywise.
Oh my God, don't do that.
But anyway, it was my thought process. So you can either do it yourself or pay someone to do it for you just to save yourself the time. And you can be brand new to this and know everything we know just by reading a guide. That is a whole side topic, but it kind of goes in with everything. Anything you do that takes your time or your skill, you deserve money for. So keep all that in mind when you're pricing your items. You're not just selling this piece of whatever for $10. You're selling your gas money, the wear and tear on your car, your time spent at the Goodwill, your time spent cleaning, prepping, steaming, photographing, your time spent listing, and you need to have value on that. And listen, if you put value in your items, if you put value in your items, the buyers will too. They sure as heck will. I think I'm done now. I'm looking at my notes.
We're at an hour and 8 minutes start.
I go an hour and a half sometimes with the hanging with the hippos. It's fine. Did you get everything you wanted to get?
I believe so, yes. I think we covered everything.
Value yourself, guys.
Value yourself and be confident in what you're doing. Like, you have to, and this will take some time, but you have to develop a confidence in what you're doing and just go with it.
Yeah, just, how some people, there's two expressions. There's the fake it till you make it, and then the walk in like you own the place and people will think you do. List your items like they're worth what they're worth, with photographs and good keywords, good titles, good descriptions, and all of that to back it up, and people will believe you that it's worth it. But if you say it's only worth $10, then guess what? But you're never going to go anywhere. So I might have said some things tonight that offended some people. And I'm going to say that I'm not sorry. Like, if it offended you, then you're guilty. If I said that, you're going to be at McDonald's next year and you feel sad about that, it's because you're doing something wrong and you need to fix it and you feel defensive and you don't want to admit it. That my dad taught me that when I was a very little kid, that if you get offended by what someone says, you're doing something wrong. If you feel guilty, you're doing something wrong. If you just don't care.
Because we're sitting here, we're trying to help people make more money. We're telling you, you can make more money. Like, you can absolutely make more money on your stuff. Like, that's not something that you should be getting angry about. That's something that should make you happy, that you can get more money for what you're doing and build a way of life for yourself doing this.
Yeah, that's all we're trying to do. We're trying to teach you best practices and better practices and teach you that you are more valuable than you're letting yourself think you are. You as a person, your business, and your time and your items are so much more valuable than you're giving yourself credit for. And we're just trying to teach you that. We want everyone to succeed. We want to see you make more money. I want everyone to be a success for years to come. I want everyone to have their retirement fund saved up, kids' college funds, your debts paid off, your insurance paid, and everybody to grow bigger and better. And 5 years from now, you're still reselling because you didn't have to give up because you made enough money to grow.
Absolutely.
That's all I want. I'm legitimately doing this for pennies because I care, you guys. We wouldn't be here if we didn't actually like the people in the community. We didn't care about you guys. The amount of time that we spend on messages and emails and YouTube videos and things that we don't get paid for, our Facebook groups, that's all done for free. And it's time that we could be listing, but we're doing it for you guys. So just remember that. We don't get paid very much on YouTube at all. Most of the stuff we do is free. So when you come to rip us a new one about this, just remember we're doing it because we actually care. We wouldn't be here. We could be doing any number of things that we're not doing. So that said, I'm gonna get off my soapbox. I'm gonna let you guys know that Sydney will be doing a webinar, and she was gonna tell you about that real quick.
Oh yeah, I'm absolutely doing a webinar on pricing and getting more money for your items. It's going to be live so that you can ask questions, and it's going to start this Wednesday. If you are in my Posh Boss HQ group, all of the information is in there, pinned under the announcement. So if you can message me, email me, whatever you need to do. What did you put in the description box?
I put your YouTube channel, your Instagram, your Posh Boss group, and the link to get to the webinar.
Perfect. So everything, Star has covered it. Everything is in the description box. And I'd love to have you in my Posh Boss group. If you're interested in Poshmark, if you're new to Poshmark, I would love to have you in there. There's tons of great discussions going on in there. So
yeah, that's a good group, guys.
It's a great resource. And it's strictly a discussion group for Poshmark. It's not people advertising their closets. It's not people trying to sell you like clothes and putting their listings in there. I don't allow any of that. So it is 100% a discussion group on Poshmark to learn from.
Yep. So if you want to learn more, go to her YouTube channel and watch her video. That's pretty much the same topic as this, about pricing your items higher and making more money. She gives you a little more in-depth video there on what the webinar is going to be about. Today is the last day to get the discounted price.
Yes, the early bird sign up ends tonight at midnight.
Eastern time?
And then the price goes up tomorrow.
Eastern time?
Yes, midnight Eastern.
Okay.
On the East Coast.
But for free, you can follow her on Instagram, join her free Facebook group.
Yes, my YouTube channel. I have a ton of Poshmark videos on there. My Posh Boss group, all that good stuff.
And if you're not in the Flippin Hippos reseller pod, what are you waiting for? Join my Facebook group.
Absolutely. We have a great time in there.
Yeah, it's a good group. It's got sellers from all platforms.
It is. It's great.
And it's got people who sell all kinds of items. Everyone's nice. And it's not always reseller related. You can reach out for help.
There is no drama. We keep the drama out of our Facebook groups. We like to have a positive open floor where people can feel comfortable asking questions. Everybody is there to learn and support each other. So.
Yep, and it's also the fastest way to get hold of me because I am self-admittedly really bad at always consistently being like a week or two behind on YouTube comments and about a month behind on emails. And
the notifications are a little overwhelming sometimes.
Yeah, the Facebook and the Instagram doesn't always show you too, because if you're not friends with someone.
Yeah, Facebook is getting really, really bad about not showing all the notifications.
So join our Facebook groups. You can tag us, we get back to you right away. Make sure you're following Sydney on Instagram and her YouTube. You can learn a lot.
Yes, I'm almost at 10,000 on Instagram and YouTube on my Thrifting Debutante Instagram. So when I get to 10,000 on both, I'm going to do a giveaway.
Dominic says, join the pod. Hippos are fantastic. They live in pods, by the way. That's why my group is.
That's what they're called? A pod?
A pod. A group of hippos is a pod. That's why it's the Hippos Reseller Pod. That said, make sure you hit the like button before you guys leave. It really helps the channel. But more than that, the more interaction this video gets, the more thumbs up. The higher it goes up in the algorithm on YouTube, because it, just like eBay, has an algorithm. Thumbs up feeds it, pushes this up in the search engine. So if you want more people in the reselling community to see this video, to hear the knowledge we slammed down tonight, if you think people need to be pricing higher, hit that thumbs up so more people will see it when they search for eBay or Poshmark videos. Subscribe to our channel too if you haven't, guys. We have lots of hungry hippos. We need help feeding them all.
Thank you to everybody in the chat. There are a lot of people in the chat tonight.
Yeah, there's like 105 right now.
That's amazing.
So if you haven't subscribed to us, if you came over from Sydney, feel free to subscribe. We're trying to hit 5,000. That's our next goal. So help us do that. Help us feed some hungry hippos. We're on Instagram, Facebook. We're at Flippin Hippos everywhere. So if you look for at Flippin Hippos, you will find me and Keith, who's quiet, and all the hippos.
I have back there. Keith's back there.
Keith's that way. He's playing WoW with Casey, but
oh, good Lord. Take his computer.
I have to get up to turn this off, so I'm going to say bye right now, and I'm going to leave Sydney to say whatever final words she wants to say, and when you're ready, say bye so I know to cut it.
Okay.
All right, bye, guys. To my people, you guys are the absolute best, and thank you so, so much for watching us tonight and for joining us. I absolutely appreciate all the support for the channel.
Thank you to Star for having me on her show tonight. I've been wanting to do a show for a while, so I'm glad we were able to sit down and do this. And thank you for everybody who was in the chat with us. Good night to everybody. Scott, Robert, Holly, everybody. Bye.